Bitcoin is what these guys fear because they can't control it. Recently, we know that we had a big short squeeze. If you measure it, it's one of the largest we have seen in recent times. The last big one was back in 2021 when Bitcoin went from 64,000 down to about 28,000, and then we had a huge run back to 69,000. Not nearly as high, but I think we're going to see a lot more of this, right? So this is just the start. So good things, good things. They can't control it. They can't inflate it more, right? Which is why the pet rock holders, the hodlers, continue to grow. And we are nearing 1 million holders of Bitcoin that hold at least one, right? At least one Bitcoin and plus. So I think we're beyond the pet rock stage, right? And I believe we're beyond calling Bitcoin a fraud because literally no one is thinking that other than Jamie Dimon right now. So yeah. As for other good things, balance on exchanges continue to drop. We're at a 4-year low. Really, really low, guys. Really low from peak of 2020, somewhere in 2020, mid-2020. Since then, we have seen over 1 million Bitcoin disappear from the exchanges. 1 million Bitcoin, not $1 million, million. That's a lot, and it continues to drop more. So the scarcity thing definitely plays into it. Not only the halving event will cut the number of Bitcoin being produced per day, per year, going forward every 4 years, but the exchanges, the reserves on exchanges that's available for people to trade, right, is dropping. And who knows how low that's going to drop. Eventually, it'll get to a point where it's virtually impossible to trade Bitcoin because it's just too rare. Oh, here's, there's a lot of talk about CBDCs, but here's something interesting. The National Australian Bank is going to launch a stablecoin. They're going to launch a stablecoin on top of Ethereum and Algorand. Interesting. They're not calling it a CBDC. They're calling it a stablecoin that's backed by the Australian dollar. So if you have national banks, central banks now launching stablecoins on Ethereum, can the SEC still declare that Ethereum is a US-based product and that they have control over Ethereum? Does that mean that the stablecoin from the National Australian Bank is a security? Makes you wonder, right? So Gary is trying the hardest he can to kind of come up with excuses or new things to declare Ethereum as a security, right? But if other countries are now using it for their settlements and for their stable coins, can he really say that anymore? The answer is no. And it would be silly for him to declare that Ethereum is an American-based project when it's distributed around the world and there's many, many people and projects that are not in the US that are using it, right? But just want to throw that out there. But it's interesting. It's interesting. And then lastly, I don't know how many of you guys use OKX. I don't really hear anyone talk about using OKX, but I know Japan people may because there's really little exchanges left in Japan. Anyways, CryptoQuant did a proof of reserves of OKX, and they have 7.5 billion in BTC ETH stablecoins, and this does not count their exchange native tokens. So they seem pretty legit. Outside of Binance, they're number 2, I believe, in terms of reserves, which is strange because I don't hear anyone ever talk about them using OKX, yet they're really big. I don't know which countries they lead in. I don't know. Yesterday I made a big video about how the U.S. may go bankrupt today. The debt ceiling needs to be raised. Today's the deadline, and they always wait until the last second to kind of figure things out. If they don't raise the debt ceiling, the U.S. is in trouble. right? And that is supposed to be decided today. I was trying to find some kind of, I don't know, some kind of time where they're going to discuss this. I can't find it. I don't know if they're just going to have emergency sessions all day to try to get it hashed out. But if they don't, it's going to be horrible. But the debt ceiling has always been raised every single time, so I don't expect anything differently. But if they don't, it'll be a natural disaster for the U.S.